Very good evening to all of you. Myself Rachna Chauhan, and I will be taking your current affairs for the day, that is 30th of April 2025. Yes, from next coming day we are moving into May. So those who all are preparing for prelims, all the very best to all of you. This is the very crucial month. I would ask you people to take very good care of yourself and also focused raheं, stay motivated, also stay confident. Don't think about too many things, just focus on the revisions and practicing questions. That's it, nothing more than revision right now. You don't have to pick any new material, any new thing which will distract you, right? So whatever you have studied till now, you just revise all those things, all those subjects, and stay motivated, right? All the very best. Yes, so this is the QR code for the newcomers who have joined the session today itself. You can scan this QR code and join the Telegram channel so that you can access the PDFs related to the sessions. And this is the front page of the newspaper, and we will discuss the very first news written on the front page, that is related to the Pegasus spyware, right? Okay, moving on. So these are the various courses related to the foundation batches, morning and evening, plus the optional classes. If anyone who is interested in the following batches and optional subjects, you can inquire about the details through website. And if somebody is residing in Delhi itself, can come to the institute and inquire about the details. So this is the quote of the day. The quote of the day is exactly, anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new, because mistake is something is very much relevant in case of if you try something new, that means you're not going to make it in a very first attempt, right? So there are mistakes which happens during any initiative, anything which you're doing in your course of life. So if you are not trying anything new, that means मिस्टेक्स अगर हो रही हैं, दैट मीन्स यू आर ट्राइंग समथिंग न्यू एंड आगे बढ़ते जाएंगे आपके उसके रिलेटेड, राइट? मूविंग ऑन. So these are the various news which we will cover today. The first one is here, that is what's wrong with using Pegasus for national security, said by Supreme Court. So there are various petitions filed in Supreme Court related to the illegal use of Pegasus in the spyware, as a spyware in the surveillance of journalists and many more things. So there are various petitions which are being filed. So we need to see ki why there is an issue with this Pegasus as a spyware. Why can't we use that? How it is violating the right to privacy, and why Supreme Court has intervened, and what all the judgments and the key highlights of this particular judgments, we'll discuss about that. Second is here, a powerful judicial remedy for waste management. So the waste management, which we can see, India is the largest producer of the plastic pollution. So we need to see that what judicial remedy, a best judicial remedies need to be taken care of. Here we will discuss about the writ that is mandamus, that how it is being used in curbing this waste management. So we will see that. The third one is your expanding tree cover is crucial. So yes, our tree cover is below the average which has been decided by National Forest Policy 1988. So we will see why it is crucial, because we all know due to this rapid urbanization, industrialization, the tree cover is degrading, deforestation बहुत ज़्यादा है. So we will discuss कि how we can improve the afforestation part, what initiatives India has taken till now, and what other initiatives can be taken up so that this tree cover can be increased, we can expand the tree cover in coming future. Fourth one is Modi greets Carney, signaling a reset in India-Canada relations. So we all know since 2 years India-Canada relations were not that very good because of this Khalistani issue, right? So there is one signal from our honorable Prime Minister, that is that the new CM who has been elected, he has congratulated. So we will see how this signal can boost towards India-Canada relation in coming years. Moving on with the first news. So first we will understand the context. Context I have already given you, that this is the cutout of the newspaper, and context is Supreme Court is hearing petitions on alleged use of Pegasus spyware by Indian government for the surveillance of journalists, activists and others, right? So this Pegasus is being used by Indian government, and these kind of petitions have been filed in the Supreme Court, that why Indian government is breaching right to privacy of the journalist, activist and the other people by using this Pegasus spyware. So background is Pegasus. What is Pegasus? A military grade spyware developed by Israel from NSO Group, right? So it is a type of software which can be installed covertly and remotely, spyware which can be installed in the phones, and then spying can be done through that. So this is something which the person like you and me, we doesn't know about it, and then it can be installed in our phones, Android as well as ISO. So this is a cause of concern which has been filed in the Supreme Court. So, and second is allegations arose from 2021 Pegasus project suggesting unauthorized surveillance in India, that you should use only towards this surveillance can be used only towards some specific matters, not towards everybody, not towards every individual, right? So this is something which you need to understand about the context and the background. Now let's see what are the Supreme Court observations. The first one is Justice Suryakant. What does he say? That is nothing wrong with using spyware, Pegasus as a spyware for national security. The issue is against whom it is used. So the Supreme Court stance is very clear that there is nothing wrong in using this spyware. It is just that we need to understand against whom it is being used, right? Emphasize right to privacy is a vital concept, but cannot override the national security. If in context of national security there is anything which is happening in a country, then right to privacy cannot override the national security. That is what is emphasized by the Supreme Court. What are the key issues? Did the government use Pegasus? The first one is that only that does really Indian government is using Pegasus on everybody, like so for the surveillance purpose. Second is was it used legally or for unauthorized surveillance? So we need to understand why it was being used and what was the reason behind that, because we need to come with a balanced approach. We need to see that we need to follow the constitutional rights also, that we are given this right to privacy, but again it is breached through these kind of spywares. So we need to understand, we need to come up with the balanced approach that constitutional rights can also be maintained along with the national security concern. So what are the positives out of it? The first one is judicial acknowledgement of the privacy versus security debate. Yes. Second, citizens may now approach the court individually if they suspect surveillance. For example, like you and me, if we suspect something like that, we can directly approach the court. Concerns are lack of transparency from the government. Government needs to be that transparent. If they are using this spyware, they need to come up with detailed framework, why they are using, against whom they are using, so that it can be transparent and the government can be accountable towards it. Second is your potential misuse of spyware without accountability. This accountability will come when there will be the transparency of the methods which are being used and against whom it is being used. Conclusion, India must strike a delicate balance, which we talked right now, that there has to be a delicate balance between protecting national security while ensuring constitutional safeguard for the privacy, right? So this was all related to this Pegasus news. Second one is a powerful judicial remedy for waste management. So here, this is the cutout of the newspaper, you can see. So India is the largest plastic polluter. We discussed in the headlines only that India is the largest plastic polluter, emitting around 9.3 million tons. This is a huge number, you can see, per year. That is 20% of the global plastic waste. So this is the huge number. So this is the cause of concern which we need to see and take some actions towards it. Waste emissions include both debris and open burning. So that is not something that we need to focus only at one instance. We need to focus on both the instances, that is include debris and open burning. Much of it unaccounted in rural data. So if it is the waste which is generated in the rural background, the data is not being accounted, right? So we need to justify that data as well. We need to take care of the things which are happening at that front as well. This was the context. Now key issues we all know. The first one is underreported plastic waste. For example, in rural areas it is not being reported. जहाँ अगर pollution हो रहा है, plastic waste हो रहा है, वो उस तरीके से होता है because there is no campaign going on, there is no updation regarding it, no awareness regarding it, so it goes unaccounted for the time being. Second is inadequate infrastructure. Yes, dump sites outnumber sanitary landfills. That is 10:1 का ratio है, आप देख सकते हैं. So this is also which is a very big cause of concern which we need to highlight and also take some good steps in coming future. Third is your data gaps. Rural areas and informal sector largely excluded from waste data. So yes, rural areas and informal sectors needs to get covered under this data counting. Otherwise we won't be able to understand the accurate waste which we need to manage in coming future. Otherwise it will go around and around, and the India will stay at the largest polluting country in the plastic waste. Second is your fourth is your no clear audit methodologies by state pollution control boards and urban bodies. So we need to see that these are the points which are being highlighted, these are the issues. So what we can do regarding it, we will see in the way forward what steps India has taken till now and what other things we can do to overcome this problem of plastic pollution. Judicial intervention कैसे हो रहा है, how mandamus is used in this, we'll understand. That is Supreme Court's Vellore verdict, Jan 2024. They used continuing mandamus. What is mandamus? Mandamus is a writ, a type of a writ we all understood, we all know in polity we have read. So in this they give the direction to the individual or the any body to perform their particular duty which are they authorized to, right? So according to this writ, they have enforced waste remediation from tanneries. So reaffirmed polluter pays. For example, principle polluter must restore ecology and compensate victims. Who is polluting, they need to compensate the victims and also restore that particular place. So this is something really very good, a very good step taken by this honorable Supreme Court judgment verdict in Vellore. Third is your ordered government to pay and recover from polluters. So yes, this can be done in many other states as well, so that this number of data which we are able to see right now, that can be minimized and this plastic pollution can be taken care of very well. Recommendations क्या है? First of all, comprehensive waste data including rural area का जितना भी waste data है, you need to include that as well, so that according to that only we can frame a policy. Second is your geotagged infrastructure for tracking. Yes, this is, if we have come up with artificial intelligence so far, so we need to come up with solution related to that only. That becomes easy for the tracking and every purpose. Third is your mandatory linkage for all local bodies with material recovery facilities, EPR kiosk, recyclers and landfills. Fourth is your tech-enabled monitoring and third-party audits. Not only the two bodies which are authorized, third-party audit also needs to be done, so that the data is properly transparent and accountability can be seen in that particular data. Way forward, court should adopt continuing mandamus in plastic and waste cases to ensure the compliance, right? This mandamus writ which is being used in this particular thing is a very great initiative and can be used in coming time also. Second is your combined judicial oversight with data, tech and decentralized planning. Clear? Okay. So this was all related to the second news. There is one question. We'll give you 30 seconds. Go through the question and give me the answer. Yes, so the question is here, that is, which of the following is a key recommendation from Supreme Court's Vellore verdict? क्या था? Establishment of new inciners, no incinerators, geotagging of waste infrastructure for monitoring and tracking, complete ban on plastic production and abolition of informal waste management in rural areas. What was it? So The correct answer is B, that is geotagging of waste infrastructure and waste infrastructure for monitoring and tracking purpose, right? Very good. Moving on to the third news, that is expanding tree cover is crucial. Yes, so India's current tree cover is around 25.17%. For example, you can remember only 25%, that also works in the answer writing. You don't have to write remember the percentage after that. If it is this much, this 17, all round up करके आप एक number याद रख सकते हैं for memorizing it. It becomes easier. So 25% is the India's forest and tree cover right now. It is below the average of 33%, which was the target. 33%, which was the target of National Forest Policy 1988. So rapid urbanization, deforestation, industrialization are the main cause of concern for this reducing tree cover, which you can see, and they are the main reason for worsening the climate change. So let's understand some background first. That is Green India Mission. Increased forest cover by 0.56%, that we can see. Yes, it has been helpful in increasing the forest cover. Second is your National Agroforestry Policy, came in 2014, and TOFI program promote tree planting on private land as well. So these are some initiatives which are being taken by Indian government in coming up with good policies related to the tree covers. And third is your CSR initiatives and industry-led carbon offsetting are increasing. So we can see ki yes, we have done a bit related to this problem, but again we need to come up with comprehensive framework so that the tree cover that we are lying below the average, we should come in front and take the steps related to that particular thing. Moving on, significance related to it. For example, trees equals to natural carbon sinks. Yes, we all know that trees are very much important, help reduce carbon dioxide and combat global warming. So in this context, we can see that planting trees is very much important. So we need to focus on that as well. Improve soil health, groundwater recharge and climate resilience. These are all the benefits of that having trees around us, right? Support rural livelihoods via agroforestry and job creation. So we can see if we plant trees and come up with good policies that can help in the afforestation part, that will create a very good advantage for these all things which we have seen, the importance of having trees around us. Moving on, global relevance अगर हम देखना चाहते हैं, for example, European Union's carbon border and management mechanism, CBAM, which is very much famous, from 2026 will penalize carbon intensive exports like steel and cement. So which are carbon intensive exports, they are going to penalize them. They have come up with this initiative. India can also try such initiatives which can be beneficial for this program. Second is your Indian companies are investing in afforestation to earn carbon credits and remain competitive. So positives are boost rural incentives. For example, income by 20-30%, it will boost, right? Second, reduce carbon emissions and create jobs. यहाँ पे हम जो importance देख रहे थे. And third is your support sustainable development. So these are all positives out of it, which we can see कि if we are coming up with good policies related to the afforestation, it will create a huge employment and everything, and we will lead towards the sustainable development in coming future. Challenges, first is high cost of global carbon credits, that is averages this. So yes, this is something really is not really cost effective, so we need to focus on this particular thing also by lowering down the cost at the global carbon credit market mechanism, so that every country can come up with some policies. Second is your lack of national carbon market and carbon registry. India need to focus more towards this carbon market thing, because it is such a good initiative that we have seen by European Union's CBAM also. India also needs to come up with good mechanisms, good projects, so that इस तरीके की initiatives helpful हो. वो way forward set up a transparent carbon trading system. Second, offer incentives for private afforestation. Incentives देंगे, people will plant more and more trees, and that will create more and more job ultimately, and that will lead to sustainable development. Third is your strengthen policies under Paris Agreement, Article 6, related to INDCs, which India has promised. So we need to focus on all these things so that this problem having the less tree cover will improve in coming future. So there is a question related to this as well, that is, which of the following is the key initiatives aimed at increasing tree cover and promoting agroforestry in India? Which was the mission? That is a very easy question. A, B, C, D. That is A, Green India Mission, that helped 0.56% of afforestation in the last years from 2017 to 2021. Moving on to the last news, that is Modi greets Carney, signaling a reset in India-Canada relations. This is the cutout of the newspaper, you can see. So PM Modi congratulated the Canadian PM Mark Carney, signaling a thaw in relations after 2 years of diplomatic tensions. So we all know there were not very good relations with Canada last 2 years because of this Khalistani issue. So again, our honorable Prime Minister has reached out the recent new PM of Canada so that the relations can be boosted up and can be taken care properly. Background, let's see some background. Those who have no idea about that, what was happening, why we are not very good up with the relations with Canada. First is ties sourced after Canada accused India's involvement in killing Khalistani leader separatist, that is Hardeep Singh Nijjar, in 2023. We all know this issue happened, and which has deteriorated the idea of this relationship. Second, led to mutual expulsion of diplomats and suspension of CEPA trade talks. CEPA is a comprehensive economic partnership agreement, that is free trade agreement होते हैं इसमें between the two countries, lowering the tariffs and everything. So these talks were also suspended after this particular Khalistani issue. So significance of Modi's message, what we can signify from this, that is emphasize democratic values, rule of law, people to people ties. By congratulating the new PM, yes, he has emphasized all these things. India has forwarded the name of new High Commissioner to Canada as well. So we can see that we are trying towards maintaining good relations with Canada. Moving on, what will be the impact out of it? First is possibility of resuming trade talks, that is CEPA. We will be resuming the trade talks if this relation goes well. Second is potential invite, Indian invite to G7 summit in Canada. Third is your Carney seems less hostile than Trudeau. We all know that, offering space to rebuild trust. So Carney is somebody who can be that accessible in terms of Trudeau, that can be that the trust can be rebuilt again, right? Positives out of it. First is leadership change brings scope for reset. Yes, leadership जो change हुई है, the new PM Mark Carney, it is going to give a new space for building the relation again. Second is Canada's domestic shift weakens pro-Khalistani lobbies. For example, the Canada's domestic shift has weakened the Khalistani lobbies. For example, Jagmeet Singh has resigned. So we can see, yes, something is happening out of it because of this shift in the relationship. Challenges, what would be the challenges? First is your that case itself, residual mistrust due to Nijjar case. It's happened. जो थोड़ा बहुत distrust है, that will be there. But yes, strong relations की वजह से कहीं ना कहीं वो अपने आप ही incoming future it will degrade. Second, need to balance investigation with diplomacy. This also needs to be done. Conclusion is this marks inflection point. Both countries appear ready to move forward with pragmatic engagement. So Canada is also trying, India is also trying. So what we need to focus on, we need to focus on this particular point, that is investigations. We need to balance the investigation with diplomacy. We need to maintain healthy relations. We need to resume the talks on CEPA and agreements so that the trade can also be maintained between both the countries. So this was related to the India-Canada relations. This was all from my side, all the news we have covered. Thank you so much. See you in the next class. Have a really very good day. Thank you.